I hope we did not take any notes.
Well, you did have to take some notes and send some to your dad about
I don't
result.
remember yet.
We're gonna get somebody out scenario. I've learned a lot, Charlie, actually. I could have taken it and sent it to you, Dad, but I didn't know how to.
All right there.
Put your socks on.
That's cute.
Braid your hair real fast.
Okay. All right. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Base running. My favorite. Well, outfield's really my favorite, but I love base running. Okay, so let's talk about putting pressure on the defense, the number one job of base running. Okay, the absolutes of base running, the must-dos of base running. Number one, always know where the ball is. I cannot tell you how many girls turn around, they're high-fiving their coach, and the ball gets thrown back to the pitcher misses it, and we should be taking advantage of a base, and we're not because we're not paying attention. So the play is not over until it's over. The other thing too is players have a tendency to get out if the ball is a pop fly or a fly ball to the outfield. And then instead of actually seeing the catch happen, before that catch happens, they turn around and now their back is to the ball because they have assumed that a routine play has been routinely made, and the girl drops it in the outfield. And, you know, again, we should be advancing to the base. Instead, we get thrown out because we think we have to go back and tag up, and we don't advance. So anyway, always know where the ball is. Don't turn your back to the ball ever. Don't turn your back to the ball. Never make the first or the last out at third base. Okay. Never make the first or the last out of an inning at third base. Find a way to, hang on 1 second. There we go. Okay. Sorry, letting people in. Find a way to second base with two outs in an inning. So we always want to get to second base because second base equals scoring position, and that's what we want to achieve. Always tag up at third base on a fly ball with less than 2 outs. All right, not with 2 outs, with less than 2 outs, which means 1 out or no outs. We are immediately back to third base, tagging up if the ball is hit in the air. And then again, I already said this, but never assume that a routine play is going to be made routinely. All right, so factors that influence when we try to take an extra base. All right. 0 outs. Read the knees of the catcher. Okay. If you're at second base as a base runner, and that means you're in scoring position, and you are, hang on 1 second. Yeah, if you're in scoring position at second base, you want to be able to score. I mean, if you're there, your job is to score. You need to know the speed. You need to know your speed. If you're a fast runner, your job is to put pressure on the defense. You don't want to get out, but you are not only trying to advance, but you're utilizing, tricks that we've worked on in base running session, in the base running positional, but some tricks. You want to draw attention to yourself by the pitcher, by the catcher, by the defense. You want to turn heads and apply pressure. If you're an average speed runner, then average runners can still make up ample time by having a great leadoff. Okay. You can still be an effective base runner by having a great leadoff, but maybe you're not the fastest runner out there. Good jumps, good angles, all of that. And then again, you can still do bluffs and get in the head of the pitcher and the catcher and draw attention to yourself. Slow runners, listen, you also can still apply pressure to the defense. Your job is to allow the defense to relax because they're not worried about you stealing a base maybe. But if you time it properly, you can actually capitalize on a lazy or lax defense by taking advantage of an extra bag, just based on, the defense by swiping a bag on a clear breaking ball count. So if it's a change up and you're comfortable with stealing the base, go for it. If it's a ball that is going to be in the dirt and you see where the catcher's set up and there's a bobble, go for it. Take advantage of it. But these runners more than likely won't advance unless something like that happens. But we want to get you in scoring position as well and move more than just one base at a time. We want you. Okay. Another thing that helps us figure out when is the right time to take advantage of an extra base is our place in the batting order. I mean, the top half, this is not always the case because those are typically higher percentage hitters. So they typically are your more aggressive, more consistent hitters that get on base. If you have, let's say I'm at second base and I have a high end hitter, maybe my number 3, 4, or 5 hitter in the box, and they get down to an 0-2 count with 2 outs, and I'm a runner on first base, oftentimes I'm gonna try to steal. I'm gonna try to get that batter to second base. Now, a couple things about that. One, they might be safe, and that's great. But even if that runner gets out, we're going to start the next inning with our 3rd, 4th, or 5th batter, which should result in a positive outcome. So, so there's different situations. We've just got to be heads up and smart about how we take advantage of things. But the bottom half, if the bottom half of the lineup is up and you're a base runner, oftentimes the goal of the game is to roll back to the top of the order to increase the chance of scoring. But many teams are less aggressive when their best hitters are coming up, and more aggressive when their less effective hitters are up. And there's no need to be less aggressive. We should still, we should still always, when we think there is an opportunity, we need to take advantage of an extra base. So base runners around you, know the speed of your teammates, know I mean, we all know the speed of our teammates. If you are the lead runner usually tries to score or advance, but you can also draw a throw towards you to give the trail runner an opportunity to advance. So if you're a runner at third base and you get a big lead off, and there's another runner that's maybe not as fast as you, or normally not as aggressive as you, and they're at first base, by you drawing a throw from the catcher down to third because you've got a big lead off, that can allow that runner from first base to advance to second. And now we have two runners that are in scoring position. So again, just know your speed, know your teammates' speed, and you always have to be paying attention when you are on the base path. Okay. Soil. This is a test question. Girls, pay attention. All right. Proper pre-pitch to base running. All right. Just like fielding, there are things that we have to do as base runners every single pitch. Every single pitch. Number one, you need to get the sign from your coach. That is the S in soil. Get the sign from your coach. Number two, we need to check the depth and the location of our outfielders. How far back are they? Are they playing shallow? Are they crowding the lines? Are they scrunched in the middle, leaving the lines wide open? Then we check our infielder depth. Our middles back. Are they trying to turn a double play on me? Are the corners crowding the line? Are they playing bunt coverage? All those things we need to know. And then you've got to get your leadoff, and your leadoff has to be aggressive every single time. You need to draw attention to yourself. You need to make everybody on that field say she's going, whether she is or not, whether you are or not. But those are things that we do every single pitch, not, just the first time that you get to first base and then the first time you get to second base. It happens every single pitch. Get your sign. It can change. And I have our players kind of tap their head so that the third base coach knows that they got the sign. So there's acknowledgement that they were paying attention and they know what's going on. It is not the first baseman's coach or the first base coach's responsibility to say, did you see the sign? Did you get that? That is not their responsibility to tell you that. You have to be paying attention. As soon as you get on the base, you've got to pay attention. So soil is sign, O, the S is sign, the O is outfield, the I is infield, and the L is leadoff. So if you're the hitter, you're checking the fielders, seeing where they are, seeing where there could be an opportunity for you to place the ball if you're good at place hitting. Always know where fielders are playing, and is third base in? Do we want to square to bunt? Do we want to, fake bunt? Do we want to, if the middles are pinched, maybe we want to go, to the 5.5 hole. I mean, all these things, we need to be aware of. Again, this helps to know how hard or soft we might want to hit the ball. Are they up? Are they back? And then we always get the sign before we get in the box. We hit our helmet. I got the sign. You get in there, you do your job. Okay. If you're on first base, you check your fielders, the depth, you get your sign, you're checking the fielders, the fielder depth and the location's important so that you can best jump off the bag and know the direction of the ball. If you're at first base and the ball's hit to right field, you should automatically be thinking, I'm going to third. If there's a first and third situation, you should be thinking, I need to be stealing second. But again, you need to know the sign and make sure that you're all on the right page, the same page. if you are on second base, again, check your fielder's depth, infield and out, get your sign, and then get the pitch call from the catcher to the pitcher. And this is going to help you personally to get a read on where that ball is going to go. For example, if you see that the catcher is set up inside, it's going to be easier for her to throw you out at third base. But if she's set up outside and then there's a dirt ball or a ball in the dirt, then you should be stealing third base. So you've got to read their knees, read where they're setting up, try to get the pitching. I've never been a fan of teams that, wave like inside or outside to the batter. I just don't know that that's necessary. As a batter, I don't know that I would like that. I don't know that I would pay attention to that. But, we want our hitters paying attention and getting a good read on the ball when it's coming to us. So we don't want to rely on maybe an advanced knowledge of knowing, especially at certain ages. We can think that it's coming inside, the catcher's set up inside, and the pitcher doesn't have good control of the ball and it goes outside, and then we don't take advantage. So it doesn't always work the way that it should, but it cannot be stressed enough that oftentimes runners do not pick up signs from third base, and we always need to pick up signs from third base. We don't do it. Kids don't do it. Players don't do it because the coach is right there, but they don't even think to look. Well, maybe they gave a steal sign, and it's a first and third situation. They gave a steal sign to that runner at second. What if they throw down and you're still camped out at third base and you should be moving? So always get your sign, even when you're a runner on third base. The hitter, bunting. Okay, so we're going to run in foul territory on a bunt. If you are hit inside the field by a throw from the catcher, then you're going to be out. So we want to run in foul territory, so outside the baseline. Read the first baseman. If the first baseman jumps up, then you need to slide into the base. Okay. If the first baseman gets pulled off the bag in any way, you should slide into the base. And I would do this by going head first over sliding. But just know that you need to look for things like that. And you can see it, you can read it in their eyes. You should be able to figure that out. Again, there are multiple steps that we do as base runners, but we take, power step out of the box. We glance to see if it got through the infield. We run hard all the way through the bag. We hit the front of the bag. We check the right field baseline to see if there was a bad throw or a pass ball, and we could take advantage of that if there is. And then we break down our throw, or we break down our run, and then we turn towards the field, straight back in a line. We don't commit to going to second unless we're really going that direction. You come back to the line and get back on the bag. But that way you don't have your back to the ball. We always want to keep our eye on the ball. All right, ground ball. Sprint out of the box, peek, there you go. Fielded cleanly, you're going to sprint through the bag. Bobbled, your head's down, you're going to sprint through the bag, break it down afterwards. Ball gets through, all of a sudden now, instead of a single, we've got to change our angle and do our banana peel so that we're rounding the bag. Okay, fly ball, sprint out of the box. You're the batter, okay? Fly ball, sprint out of the box. and find the ball as you begin your banana peel at first base. Expect to be attempted to advance to second no matter what. This is one thing that I learned a long time ago and that we teach our girls, but you've got to, if you hit a fly ball and there are 2 outs, or you're the only runner on the base, or you're the only, there's no other base runners on, you are going to second base. You hit a fly ball, you're going to second base. That's what you got to think. And so be prepared for that when you're in the box. And if that happens to you, because if the ball's dropped, you're standing on second. And now you turned, what should have been an out into a double. And there you are. Not a double, it's an error, but you're standing on second and now you're in scoring position. So anyway, don't hesitate. Listen to your coaches, but do not hesitate. And again, as a hitter, we always want to get ourselves in scoring positions. So the quicker we can get to second, the quicker we can get to third, the quicker we get home. All right, pass ball, wild pitch, blocked ball. Communicate with runners on pass balls, wild pitches, and block balls. Hold up your hand if you're the batter in the box. You're going to hold your hand up. You can't come. It's in front of her, or you're waving them in. Come on, come on, come on. When they get there, the person on deck should be saying, you're up, you're up, you're up, or down, 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 and they're sliding. Okay. The other thing as a hitter that is extremely important when base runners are on, you stay in that box. You own that box. You own that batter's box, and you stay in that box. The only time that you need to get out of that box is when there is a play coming home. You have to get out of the way. The other, even if the catcher throws down to third, throws down to second, you stay in that batter's box. The other thing too is every time, especially the younger girls, you need to do this every single time. After the play is over, you need to step out of the box, look down to your third base coach, and you need to get your sign. So many times girls get so nervous at the younger ages and they just want to stay in the batter's box the whole time. You got to get out and reset every time. Okay, so size of turns and reading outfield throws. Okay, we went through this in base running. The blue circle here matches the blue X, the orange circle matches the orange X, the white circle matches the white X. So primary factors in taking free bases on outfield throws. So read the trajectory of the ball. If the ball is clearly being carried over their heads, it's going to be a cutoff situation. You should be thinking 2 bases ahead. Advance on a throw. If you read the cutoff, if the cutoff does not fake or bluff, meaning stare you down, try to get you to hesitate as a base runner, as the ball is crossing them, use your best judgment, advance when you can advance. The situation, knowing the situation, and if it's a good time or a bad time, knowing the innings, the score, the outs, the speeds of, your teammates on the base paths, all of that matters. But as far as the blue circle goes, if the ball's hit to right field, what this is saying is the ball's hit to right field, you are getting a quarter of the way off the base. Okay, we're closer to first base. We're still rounding it because the ball's in the outfield, not in the infield. So ball's in the outfield, we are rounding the bag and we are staying fairly close to the base. When the ball is hit to center field, we get a little bit further off. So, we're at a quarter, a third, and then we're at a half. So if you hit the ball to left field, you have more time to react. They're likely not going to be throwing you out from center field or from left field, but it can happen. So again, know where the ball is. And wherever that ball is hit, that should be the direction that you are facing when you come around the bag. So when you round the bag, if I hit the ball as a hitter to right field, I will be facing right field so that I can see where that ball is. And then same thing with center, same thing with left. Okay, runner on first base. If you are a runner on first base and there's a bunt, you see it down. Automatically, we tell our runners on first base, ball's on the ground in a bunt situation, we're thinking we're going to third. Automatically, we're thinking we're going to third. And the only reason we wouldn't is if the coach holds us up. So pick up your base coach before you get to second base, and then make sure that you peek. You've got to peek. If you're a runner on first base and there's a ground ball, a single to center field or left field, you're getting to second. If there's a single to right center and right field, if it's right center, maybe we can advance to third. If the ball's hit on the left side, or a first base ground ball, sprint, and you should be expecting to slide. Okay. You're the runner on first base. You need to get to second. We're not it shouldn't be a double play situation, but they're coming for you. So you got to know in ahead of time, if the ball's hit here and I'm trying to get there, I got to slide. And then second base, grounder approach, as if you need to, stop or fall down or attract attention to yourselves. Avoid the double play. Don't run into a tag and, double up that situation. Make them make a play on you. If you're a runner on first base and there's a fly ball, it's a sure hit. Take off, pick up your coach. You should be thinking scoring or at least getting to third. If it's a tweener and you've got speed, you better be scoring. If it's a routine fly ball and you're the only runner, then you need to get back when the ball is caught. And, of course, if it's in left field, you've got more time, so you can stay off the bag. Again, it kind of applies back to, the screen that we were just on, where if it's hit to right field, you stay a little closer, you hit to center field, stay a little, get a little further. Left field, you've got more time to get back. If it's a routine fly out and you're a trail runner on first base, you need to tag up because they may be going after the lead runner more than likely, and then you can advance quicker by tagging up. If the runner in front, the leadoff runner, draws the attention to them, then you can take advantage of that as the trail runner. All right, so pass ball, wild pitches, advance with purpose. Your goal is to always take 2 bases when you can. 2 bases on a pass ball, 2 bases on a wild pitch, and that's being aggressive, but that's the mentality that we need to have. Whether it happens or not, it's a different story, but that's what we need to be thinking. The secondary goal is to bluff. If you can't get 2 bases, at least get out there and try to sell it like you're taking advantage, draw a throw, and then perhaps they overthrow and we can advance. If it's a blocked ball where the ball stays in front of the catcher, read the knees. As soon as the catcher goes down on their knees, then, and you see the trajectory of the ball going to the ground, you should take off. Variables and getting out on the play are catcher blocks cleanly, picks up the ball, makes a quality throw, fielder catches the ball, fielder tags you, I mean, a lot of things have to happen perfectly for you to get out, but we still always need to be aggressive when we can be aggressive. All right, so runner on first continued, pick off from the catcher. We dive back with our right hand on the back corner of the bag. Make sure that you walk into the base before you lift your hand off of the base. So discouraging when kids get thrown out because of something silly like that. Our head needs to be looking towards right field so that we can see whether there was an overthrow to get back up and know if we can take advantage and go to second base. A bluff, meaning when you bluff the steal, take 3 or 4 hard steps, act like you're stealing, and then stop, find the ball, and be prepared to have the catcher throw it back to you. This can help advance lead runners, and then it could help draw bad throws as well, as long as you don't, get too cocky about it and get yourself thrown out. If we're stealing, we're exploding off the bag, our head's buried, and we're planning on sliding. I mean, be ready, be prepared. We should be looking for back corners of the bag, or at least sliding in a direction that's furthest away from where the tag's going to be. All right, runner on second. You're a base runner on second. There's a bunt, see it down. You need to take off once you know that that ball is fair and not a catchable ball. Listen to your coach. And again, we're looking, we're picking it up, we're knowing where the ball is. Balls hit on the ground to the left side or left field after you've already checked the fielders, got your sign, done the soil test. You should have a good idea of whether the ball went through or not. And once you know that, that determines how you approach going into third base. Either you're going to round it, you're going to go score, or you're sliding into it. Runner on second with a fly ball. Again, at second base, we're in scoring position. We want to take off and pick up the coach, expect to score. That's if we know that it's a sure hit, we're scoring. If it's a tweener, we need to make sure that nobody catches that ball, and we need to be thinking scoring, that we're scoring. If it's a routine fly out and you're the only runner on or the lead runner, then you need, and the ball's hit to left field, you need to come off the bag in case they drop it. If the ball's hit to center field or right field, you need to tag up or tag and draw the throw. Again, routine fly ball, you're the trail runner. Do what you do, or do what the runner in front of you does. Read that runner, and if possible, advance. Okay, pass ball, wild pitch. You're a runner on second base. Advance and bait. Take the bag on a pass ball and a wild pitch, and we need to take a turn. If it's pass ball, wild pitch, back at the fence. If both the pitcher and the catcher, if both drop heads and neither cover, then get there. All right, block ball in front, get a larger secondary lead. So we don't do secondary leads, we do leads. So normally at second base, it's a hard 5 steps. You can get off over halfway, just a little over halfway. If the ball's blocked, you need to make the decision if it's the right time in the game to do that based on scores, inning, your speed, all those things matter. But you don't want to get out at third base. Okay, a pickoff from the catcher, dive back corner of the bag, get up quickly. Again, walk back to the bag with your feet, leaving your hand on the base. When you bluff steal and you're a runner on second, We're taking hard steps, and you need to be prepared for the catcher to throw behind us. If you are the trail runner, be smart and hopefully buy enough time for the lead runner to score. If you are the lead runner in that situation, do not get picked off when there's you and somebody else on the base, especially when you're in scoring position. If we're stealing, we're stealing. We're going. Okay, runner on third. There's a bunt. See it down. That sounds familiar. That's on every single, no matter where you're at, first base, second base, third base, see the bunt down. If it's a suicide squeeze, you are going on the pitch. You are not pumping the brakes. You are going on the pitch. If it's a bunt and you see it down, still listen to your coach. You got to see it with your own eyes, what's going on. Don't get caught in a fake throw to first base. You got to be heads up and be alert all the time. But on a bunt, if you're at third base, you're thinking you're scoring if they're getting the runner at first. If there's a ground ball and the infield is back, you are going on contact. If that ball's hit anywhere but the pitcher, okay, you're going on contact. If the infield's back and it's a ground ball, you're going on anywhere but the pitcher. Corners, if they're playing in, you should go on the throw. Go on regular contact if it's hit to the middles. And infield in, you need to see the ball get through. Fly ball, runner on third. If there are less than 2 outs, we shall tag up. All fly ball situations, tag up. If there are less than 2 outs and you are a runner on third, you are tagging up. Pass ball, wild pitch. You're a runner on third. You are scoring. You are scoring. You are planning on sliding and you are getting in there. The only time we would not do this is if the ball might be 5 feet behind the catcher. You got to be smart. We don't want you to get thrown out trying to score. But it depends on the score, how aggressive and or safe we might need to play it. Blocked ball. Ball's in front. You're at third base. So if the ball's in front of the catcher, you're not going anywhere if they block the ball and it stays in front. If it gets off to the side, maybe, depends on your speed. And regardless, it will allow you a little bit more time to get a bigger lead and still be able to get back. If you're the on-deck hitter, you are in the circle taking good quality swings. You are timing up the pitcher. You are aware of what is going on in the game. Your job number 1 is to get the bat out of the way. If the ball is hit and there's a potential play at the plate, just throw it out of the way and then you get out of the way. Your job number 2 is to line yourself up with eyesight on a potential runner that's coming to the plate, and you're telling them up, 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 down, 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 and they know to slide or that they're coming in safe. The other job is to get foul balls and to make sure that the umpire gets those, and be smart and use your time wisely. Stay focused on the game. We need to not waste our time while we're on deck. That's no time to talk to our friends, parents, anybody in the stands. We're not saying hi. We're not doing cheers. We are focused on our at-bat and preparing ourselves mentally, visually for success in the batter's box. Go through, pay attention, notice maybe what pitches the pitcher's pitching, if she's struggling, if she looks tired, if she's afraid to throw inside to right-handed batters, if you're a lefty and she's everything's outside, or if she's jamming left-handed batters, all of that. If she can field her position, you're looking for all those things. You're also paying attention to see if the catcher has a good arm and knowing, you know, what their blocking ability is, find out what their weakness is, those kind of things. Don't lollygag. If you are on deck, there's no lollygagging. That is just not acceptable. Pace of the game, again, we always play with time limits, it seems like. So, you know, we should hustle in and out and be prepared, make the most of the time that we have when we're on deck. Overall takeaways. Pre-play work is vital. So check fielder depth and positioning and pick up your signs. Again, soil, signs, outfield, infield, leadoff. That's base running 101 right there. Don't assume routine plays are going to be made routinely, meaning don't turn your back on the ball because you expect them to catch it and then they drop it and we don't advance and then we, you know, get out at a further base because we weren't paying attention. Know the factors, know the variables, know the game situation, know the score, know the inning, know the speed of the runners, or, you know the speed of your teammates, know the number of outs, all those things. Every single one of you, no matter the speed or the size, your job as a base runner is to put pressure on the defense. We can do that by stealing, taking free bases, fake stealing, bluffing, leadoffs, aggressive leadoffs, burying our head, drawing attention to ourselves, diving back, drawing throws, all those things. Again, know where the ball is, cannot say that enough. And then take pride in base running. Base running can be really fun. I love coaching base running. I love being a base runner. And it is something that can be a game changer. Aggressive running teams, athletic running teams really, really make softball a fun game to watch. So, you know, take pride in it and base running, you can create mistakes on the defense and just quickly a team can implode by aggressive base running and smart heads up base running. So it is definitely an important part of the game. And we as FAM players can all do our part to help our team because we are smart heads up base runners. So we have one more session left. It is Hot Stones. Is that what it's called? Hot Stones. I'm excited about it too, because I don't know exactly what it's all about, but hot stove. Don't put your hand on the hot stove. So we're going to learn all about that together. And hopefully they don't put me in the hot seat and on the spot. So take a quick break. We will gather here together, BAM and FAM, and we'll catch you soon.